Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we discuss one of the most successful car watch crossovers ever, largely because the watch was given its own room to breathe, and Singer Reimagined, the creator of this Flytrack Prime Edition, is completely separate as a business entity from Singer of Restomod Porsche 911 fame. So Singer Reimagined is a joint venture of watch designer Marco Borrachino and Singer Auto founder Rob Dickinson. So by not simply rebranding some existing Tag Heuer or Blancpain or Girard Perregaux as a Singer watch, they showed respect to the horological genre by building the watch from scratch. So the Prime Edition was released as a 30-piece series in 2023, and there were 10 variants of each dial. Each variant was in grade 5 titanium like this one. So this is the Prime Edition telemeter scale, which is used to gauge distance. There was also a pulsometric scale for gauging the pulse of a human being, and a tachymetric scale for gauging speed. The telemeter scale works in conjunction with an always running flyback chronograph seconds hand, so in some regards it's similar to the long ago Omega chronostop, and more recently the 1815 homage à Walter Lange from A Lange und Söhne. The watch has a lovely 70s aesthetic. You can see it's mostly media blasted, though there is some polishing here on the grade 5 titanium. The watch features a rose gold number plaque that tells you this is number 8 of the 10 with the telemetric scale. The watch is 43 in diameter. If you look at it in profile, it's 15.3 millimeters thick, 48.5 lug-to-lug with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. And again, this sort of tonneau profile with the flyback capability, inspired by the 1970s. I would give Omega a little bit of an assist for the chronostop. Taking a look on the wrist, it's a big watch, but it fits, partly because the cushion case is effectively lugless, partly because all in sapphire and titanium, it's a very light watch. For the sake of proportion, I would recommend a wrist no smaller than mine, but if your wrist is 16 centimeters circumference or larger, game on, it's going to wear well. While it's not thin, it's also not super thick, and it does feature a well-sloped case flank and domed sapphire, so it will slide underneath a lot of cuffs. Taking a look at the strap, it's a great look. You can see a combination of a yellow contrasting stitch on black textile, leather gussets sewn in to limit the gouging. You can see it's calfskin on the bottom, pull-tab spring bars to pop the strap off the case so that you can clean between the lugs and also swap straps. You can see we have a screw-fixed twin trigger release, single fold deployant clasp, and that it features the Singer logo externally, along with a combination of satin and polish, and you press these two triggers to open it. It is 100 meters water resistant, so on a different strap than this one, it is swimmable. You can see this is a factory strap in outstanding condition. The watch features a large amount of nuance here. We've got both media blasted and polished gold just on the medallion itself, then a lot of media blast externally, some polished highlights, a few different facets converging at the lugs, a pump style reset trigger, and then we've got a crown with the Singer logo, a bezel that features polish and multiple facets, and what is effectively a lugless case design. Notice that there's a little revetment or a countersink so that the strap can be totally flush to the case for a very integrated look, but there's no impediment to the motion of the strap because it does have that little garage and recess so it can move freely. The watch does feature a dial of depth, and there is a little bit of lume, which I'll show you now, but again, emphasis on a little bit. We have a fascinating timing reference here. As you can see, making changes to the time, I am also making changes to the index. It's an unusual arrangement. The index is the hour hand, and the minute hand looks like it might be chrono minutes, but you only have chrono seconds. So you can see how this works, where I'm able to read the hours and the minutes, but nothing else. The dial has great depth and a lot of color. It's much appreciated. An aluminum ring is used to create the hour index outboard, and then we've got this sort of signal yellow with orange. These are Singer corporate colors. You've seen them on their cars and in their interiors. Note the use of a conical brushed cap to the seconds hand at center, and then bright polish for the minutes hands. The telemetric scale was originally developed for artillery spotting. The idea being, at least in this case, you zero it out when you see the impact of the shell, and assuming the speed of sound at sea level is what you're dealing with, and that is a constant, which is not exactly true, what happens is you read the number adjacent to the seconds hand when you hear the explosion of the shell. So that's what they're thinking there. Turn it all over. It's a version of the Agengraph. This one doesn't have a rotor under the dial to make it a thinner movement. It is manual wind 60 hour. It's got a 3 hertz beat rate. It is an enormous movement, properly filling this properly large case. It's also beautifully decorated. Jean-Marc Viderecht, the designer of the movement, Agenor, his company out of Geneva, has boasted that this movement would achieve a Geneva hallmark if it were thusly submitted for approval and homologation, and the decoration is quite impressive. I would say Audemars Piguet Plus. Now, there's a lot going on. We have stripes, we have high polish, all screw heads are polished, we have solarization on this ratchet wheel here. We have a lot of engine turning, and then one of the most involved balance regulators I've ever encountered. What's fascinating here is that it is a form of lateral clutch, and you can see it in action. It is a form of lateral clutch, but it is not a column wheel. In fact, there really is no conventional cam or column wheel here. It's sort of a category in and of itself in that regard. It's 6-position adjusted, and it's a 39 joule movement. It is an impressive caliber, no matter how you slice it. Just looking at the thing, it is absolutely staggering in its degree of intricacy. You can throw a loop at this and simply get lost. It also, again, being manual wind, allows the watch to be a lot thinner. And this is neither a conventional mobile stud index nor a free-sprung balance, but it does have some of the shock resistance qualities of a free-sprung architecture. So a lot to love with the Agengraph right there. So what they've done well here is they've created this watch as a bespoke timepiece. It's not a version of something else with a car brand on it. They've also managed to keep it remote from the brand that is synonymous with the Singer Auto name, which is Porsche. You can drive a Ferrari, hell, you could drive a Buick Electra 225 and wear this, and there would be absolutely no conflict. This is for people who love watches, and if you're into cars, that is just a bonus. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.